Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? Last night I disassembled 8 pallets, and I'm going to show you the aftermath. This is what I'm going to work on tonight. I got to get this cleaned up a little bit because a clean shop is a safe shop. I'm calling it aftermath. Now I did do quite a bit of cleaning as I went, but you'd see all the little chunks where I cut along the runner with the circular saw, and it's just absolutely a mess that went everywhere. There's nails everywhere. There's all kinds of dust back there. The top of my saw is filthy. And like I said, I was cleaning as I went. I do want to show you something. Here's some examples of some of the wood from the pallet. Gorgeous grain. Look at that. What do you think that is? I think it's mahogany. Just absolutely beautiful wood. I set those pieces up there, but that bucket was full last night of nails and cutoffs. I dumped it. That's the second time around, and by the time I pick all this junk up on the floor, everything up under the saws, look at that, it's just a mess. By the time I pick that up, it'll be full again. So I'm gonna get started cleaning, try to knock this out real quick. I ordered 2 48-quart coolers today. That way I can build one to remember how to do it, and the second one I can use for the build video to show you guys exactly what I did. So hopefully I'll be getting the chance to start on this soon. But for now, we just got to get cleaned up and organized so that we got room and a safe shop to build in. All right, I got the shop cleaned up. I'm really happy with how it looks. It was just a mess. There was too much dust. I couldn't stand it. I'm working on something else. I had a couple of boards that I glued together, and there was a tiny gap between them. And I think what it was is probably my fault where I cut it because it squeezed together on one side but not the other. So I probably had a bad cut. But I got a little bit of this quick wood and saw this at the woodworking show, and it's kind of a neat product. It's made by JB Weld. Let me shake it out here. See how it's a different color in the middle and a little darker on the outside? You just cut off a little piece, mix it between your fingers like Play-Doh, and when it gets mixed up really good, you go ahead and put it in the hole in the wood. It hardens harder than wood. You can sand it, paint it. They recommend if you're going to try to stain it to try to do that while you're mixing it. It sets up completely in about an hour, and then you can just take off and just do whatever you want with it. So I'm kind of excited to see how it works out. I'll let you guys know. What I'm getting ready to do now is I'm getting ready to have some fun. I'm tired of working. Aren't we all? I got an arrow. I went up to the archery range the other night, and the young man who runs the archery range, there was a whole bunch of arrows, maybe 20, 25 arrows there that were missing fletching. Some of them are bent. They're just damaged. And I said, hey, the arrows there, what's the story on those? And he said, oh, they're my personal arrows. He goes, I just brought them in because I'm going to work on them and try to fix them. I said, oh, okay. The only reason I asked is I was going to see if I could buy one because I'd like to try to turn an ink pen. I make ink pens. I'd like to try to turn one of them into an ink pen. And he goes, oh, you can have one, man. Just pick one out. So I went back there and I picked one out that was bent. You can see it's kind of bent. And I got the bent one because I figured, it's going to be kind of hard to straighten it. If the fletching was tore, he can glue new fletching on. If the tip is messed up or the knock, he can fix those things. So I took this one. And I said, well, listen, I appreciate you giving this to me because he wouldn't take any money for it. I said, if I can turn this into a pen, if I can make this work, I'm going to come show you. I'm going to get another arrow. You give me another one. I'm going to make you a pen out of one of these arrows. And he was all excited about it. So I'm really hoping I can get it to work because I think it'd be something really cool to give him. I think he'd really appreciate it. So I don't have any plans. I'm just going to start goofing off and I'm going to film it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, no big deal. I'll keep you guys posted. Take care. Well, everybody, I'm calling it quits for the night. I'm kind of perplexed. The inside dimension of the tube, this is about twice the thickness of a pen tube. And I was trying to drill it out, and I was having pretty good luck, but I'd get so far in and it would start to slip. I didn't have a good way to hold a piece of tubing this small. I tried putting tape around it, but as it built, and I used oil, but the heat would build up and the oil would get under the tape and it would melt the glue and the tape would let it slip. And I tried using a piece of craft foam and it worked okay for a little bit. Then it slipped, and then I had some thick black rubber that I used for making washers for my cooler boxes. And it worked for a while, but as soon as I'm using turbine oil, and as soon as it got on there, that stuff is so slippery, it just spun. I've got to come up with some good way to hold a tube, a little tube, so that I can drill a 1/4-inch hole right up the middle. And once I can do that, I think this is going to work. And I think it's going to be really cool. But I just got to come up with a way. So if anybody out there has a good idea, short of grabbing it with a pair of pliers and wrapping something around it to hold it, there's got to be a better way to do it. If one of you guys has an idea, I'd love to hear it, because I really want this project to work. I think it's going to be super cool. That's all for me. I'm going in the house. I'm going to edit this video, and then I'm going to sit down with my wife and watch a little TV, half-hour show, and that's it. I'm wore out. I'll talk to you later. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening.